Hello everyone, the Bearded Thumb here. How y'all doing today? So today I have quite a different thing than usual, but hey, inspiration for videos can strike just about anywhere. So here we go. Um, I got this in the mail today. It is supposedly from the Republican Presidential Task Force and Donald J. Trump. Invitation enclosed. Well, I'll spare you the suspense. The invitation is for the Republican Presidential Task Force Strategy Survey. And essentially, what it is it's supposedly a survey sent out by the president, and it asks some really generic questions. I'll be honest, I got this because I have donated to various Republicans in the past. Started my first donation ever was to Rand Paul. And I will say, this has actually evolved quite a bit. Like, when I first started getting these generic surveys, uh, it was really, really bad. Like, some of the questions they would ask were just so basic and generic. Like, are you a proud Republican? And do you want to make America great again? Just such ridiculous questions. But I was breezing through this earlier just for shits and giggles, and they've actually kind of stepped their game up there and try to make it look legitimate. So let's take a minute to go over this. First thing, what I want to say is the premise of this video is to essentially say, if you want to support a candidate in a race, support them directly, as you will see as this goes on, what the key focal point is. But now I'll just start going through this. Question the first. How do you generally identify yourself? Conservative Republican, liberal Republican, Democrat, moderate Republican, independent voter, or other? Do you plan on supporting me in 2020 presidential election? Do you have interest in serving as a volunteer to help at your local Trump victory headquarters or to assist a Republican candidate in your area? National issues. Do you approve or disapprove of the job I am doing as President of the United States? Mark below how you personally feel about America's economy. Those are your options. I'm not going to read them all. What five national issues do you believe my administration should focus on in the coming months? Holy crap. Once again, I'm not going to read them all. Okay, that's enough time for you to read. What actions do you believe we should take to ensure America's economy continues to prosper? Question number 5. Do you support my strong stance in demanding that our nation builds a border wall across the length of our southern border to protect our nation from illegal immigrants, human trafficking, and drug smuggling? Question number 6. America has recently reached the point where it is now the world's leading exporter of oil. Do you support continued activities on part of the federal government to responsibly tap into our national resources to keep our nation energy independent? Do you support replacing Obamacare with free market reforms that will protect individuals with pre-existing conditions, remove government's costly and intrusive role, broaden access, enact medical liability reform, and make health care more affordable for all Americans? Speaker Pelosi has made clear that the Democrats in Congress are going to do all in their power to advance gun control legislation. Do you support efforts to protect Americans' Second Amendment freedoms? Love the wording there. Do you support my nomination of federal judges who will make their decisions based on the U.S. Constitution rather than advancing their own political doctrine? Do you expect Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats-controlled House of Representatives to cooperate in any way with me in finding solutions to America's most critical issues, or do you think they will continue to work relentlessly to stop us from doing what's best for America? Once again, love the wording. Very impartial. 11. I believe the Democratic Party and its candidates are advocating extremist policies that will take America down the road to big government socialism. Do you agree? Oh, yeah, like I said, very impartial wording. The part that's blacked out there because I was blacking out my name and address, I'll read through it. What foreign nation do you believe poses the greatest threat to United States in the next 2 years? Russia, Iran, China, North Korea, other, all of the above. Which of the following do you think will have the most impact on America's foreign policy in the next 5 years? They're all your options. Should America take military action if necessary to keep Iran and any nation from using nuclear weapons? My administration withdrew the U.S. from the horrible Iran nuclear accord the Obama administration negotiated. Once again, I can't help but love the wording of this. I want to renegotiate an agreement that would keep Iran from ever having nuclear weapons and end their support of terrorism. Do you approve of this action? Do you support my efforts to negotiate with Kim Jong-un to try and get North Korea to give up nuclear weapons? Do you agree that future trade policies with China must include penalties for hacking into our nation's businesses, universities, and government computer systems and stealing and exploiting U.S. technology? Do you agree that our federal government must go all out to combat cyber attacks on our nation's government, business, and infrastructure? All right, now we get a rating system here: approve, disapprove, no opinion. Please note your approval or disapproval of the following policies being advanced by Democrats in Congress and the 2020 Democratic presidential candidates. Once again, all about the wording they have there. Quote-unquote free national health care for all. It's just the placement of quotes is always fun. Higher taxes on the, quote, rich Americans. Extreme climate change programs. Could just say climate change programs. Open borders for all immigrants. Support sanctuary cities. Paying reparations. Cutbacks in U.S. military spending. Budget busting federal spending. Not just federal spending. Budget busting federal spending. Government paid college tuition for all. Increased gun control. Dangerous abortion policies. Extending voting rights to inmates. Lowering the voting age to 16. Packing the Supreme Court. Making Washington, D.C. a state. Abolishing the Electoral College. All right, we're coming down the tail end here, so bear with me. Do you approve or disapprove of the Democrats' never-ending witch hunt to try and destroy me for their political gain rather than focusing on working together to make America better for us all? Am I right in constantly exposing the blatant partisanship of the mainstream media in America? How much does it concern you that the Democratic Party is being taken over by radical extremists who advocate huge tax increases and greatly expanding government programs that will undermine Americans' freedoms? Does it concern you that the majority of millennials in a recent national poll said they would rather live under socialism than capitalism? Are you concerned that a foreign nation such as Russia, Iran, or China will interfere with the 2020 presidential election? And finally, the last question on this horse's ass of a survey. Considering all that is at stake in the November elections, are you willing to support our agenda by financially strengthening the Republican National Committee to help me and all our party's candidates win? Well, that number 7 is probably the most truthful question based on the survey because, as you saw, most of the wording is made to sound like something President Trump would make. I mean, a lot of stuff is taken straight out of his speeches and other various statements he's made on Twitter, whatnot. However, you get down to the bottom part, the fun part here, and as it asks for a donation, let's see here. Your donation options are as follows: $35, $50, $100, $250, $500, $1,000, and other. But if you cannot support the task force at that level right now, but I am enclosing $25. Holy shit, that's up. That used to be $15. $25 to help pay for the cost of processing my task force strategy survey. Alright, so that's where the whole point of this video comes into play, because I knew that part comes up. I'm going to go ahead right now and simulate what it is like to have these surveys, we'll just call processed. So, you take your return address envelope that they were nice enough to not pay for postage on. You take your survey, and you take your check that's not made out to the president, who supposedly sent this, but made out to the Republican National Committee. So I'll just make sure I properly sign it out. Don't want it to be voided. There we go, RNC. You take those two things together, put them in your envelope, you seal it up, you put a stamp on it, I'm sure shit not using a real stamp for a joke. You send it away. So now it arrives at the processing center, and now I'm going to show you exactly how they process it. Some idiot actually sent this thing back. Alright, consider your survey processed. Thanks for the money. Alright, so in the end, the point of this video is to say, in my opinion, if you want to support a candidate, support the candidate. Unless you are truly someone who is just loyal to a party rather than a candidate. I mean, I'll be honest, I support my candidates of choice directly. I donate directly to their campaigns. I would not donate to the RNC because I don't support all Republicans. I think some of them are just batshit crazy, and I would not want to help them in any way, shape, or form. Contrary to popular belief, I believe such a thing as moderate does exist. I've had some of my friends try to convince me otherwise. Some of my friends who don't agree with me being primarily conservative have said, and I'm not quoting them verbatim, but my favorite thing I've ever heard was, if you agree with just one Democratic policy versus a Republican policy, you should be a Democrat. Which makes absolutely no sense in my opinion. And before anyone sits here and says that, oh, the RNC is horrible for sending these out, my friends get identical things from the DNC, just the wording is favorable in their opinion and against the against Republicans, talking bad about, I'm sure includes something about, oh, how do you feel about the president's racist agenda or some stupid shit like that, I don't know. But I mean, they talk about getting these things too. So, and I further would like to say, if someone would want to argue with me about the existence of moderates, you can go and use the comment section down below, and that'll bring us to the end of this video. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, follow me on Facebook. I hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate you watching, and if you didn't like this video, however, thumbs down, negative comment, and until next time, this has been the Bearded Thumb. Have a good one.